Welcome back. New developments on just how far the Biden administration will go to mislead the American people ahead of the midterm elections. President Biden celebrated a tentative labor deal to prevent a massive rail worker strike last month, except there was never any agreement. One of the major rail unions now flatly rejecting the so-called tentative deal that the president told us about, and now a strike could be looming. Also, Saudi Arabia confirming that the White House tried to coerce them to delay cutting production until after the midterm elections, a move that would have helped keep oil and gasoline prices down just right before the election. Joining me right now is the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee, Senator Rick Scott. Senator, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. I know you're on the campaign trail in Georgia with Herschel Walker. I'm going to get to that in a moment. But first, give us your take on this president misleading the American people. He sat there in a press conference last month and said that there was a tentative deal for the rail unions, and yet there was no deal at all. It was totally made up. And now we know that two of the unions rejected it. He was just trying to stop them from striking before the midterm elections. Same stance that he took with OPEC, trying to convince them not to cut production until after the midterm elections. Is this all just about politics and power and not about the American people?
Absolutely. I mean, let's think about it. Let's go to inflation. He says, oh, somehow it's getting better. Remember, first it was transitory. It's not getting better. Look at the numbers. It's bad every month. Let's look at the border. He comes out, oh, the border's secure. His administration says the border's secure. The border's not secure. There's nothing. There's a crime. Look at all these issues, and he's lying to the American public about everything. Look at what's going to happen to Social Security. You saw the numbers this week. With Social Security number, our Social Security recipients are going to get big increase. That's all. That's what they need it because of this inflation. But guess what? What's that going to do to the viability of Social Security? So all that Biden cares to do is win this election. He's going to lose. We're going to get the House and the Senate, and it's because Biden is lying to the American public, and they understand what's going on.
Well, I mean, that's one of the issues, I think, Senator, because if it were just that he had just an inept approach to governing. If it's just that he just didn't understand the economy and doesn't understand what, inflation is, too many dollars chasing too few goods, that would be one thing. But to actually lie, out and out lie, try to deceive the American people by negotiating with OPEC that, yeah, sure, you can cut production, but do it after the midterms. Yeah, sure, you can go on strike, which will collapse our economy, but do it after the midterms. That's a whole nother thing.
Oh, that's exactly what he's been doing, though. I mean, look at what they're doing on these gas prices. I mean, does he and the Democrats they don't care about poor people? Look at what they've done with these gas prices in the last 2 years. Look at what they've done to food prices. Think about a poor family that's struggling to put food on the table, put gas in the car, or a retiree like in Florida. We got retirees going back to work or going to food banks, and he just sits there and lies. He says, oh, Republicans want to do something on Social Security. No, Joe Biden, you did it. You're bankrupting Social Security. And by the way, when you were a U.S. Senator, Joe Biden, you proposed cutting Medicare and cutting Social Security. Actually, you're doing it by ruining those programs through this unbelievable inflation. It's hurting families all across this country, especially in my state.
So are you going to be able to take this on and change things? You're on the campaign trail in Georgia with Herschel Walker this weekend. What can you tell us about the reception he's getting? Do you think you will win the Senate control?
Absolutely. We're going to get 52 seats plus. And here's why. First off, they're fed up with the Biden agenda. The inflation, the border, the crime, all these things are Joe Biden created. And these Democrats like Warnock in Georgia, they've gone along with it. So yeah, absolutely, we're going to get 52. We're getting big crowds. This week, one time last week, I was with Herschel. We had 500 people there for an event in a small town. They love this guy. I was with Dr. Oz this week. He's got big rallies. So we're going to get 52. And I think we've got places like Arizona where Blake Master could win. win. Joe Day could win Colorado. Tiffany Smiley could win. Leora Levy could even win if we have a great night in the state of Connecticut. Bolduc could win in New Hampshire. So I'm excited. We're going to get 52, and I think we have a chance for 53, 54, 55 seats.
All right. So what are you going to do should you get the majority, Senator? Tell us your priorities. Are you going to be able to stop this horrendous agenda that includes higher taxes, includes $80 billion to hire 87,000 auditors at the IRS to audit and so many of us? Can you stop this?
We're going to stop the IRS agents, the new agents. We're going to balance the budget. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we get a balanced budget. We're going to stop the tax increases. We're going to stop this regulatory creep where the Biden administration wants to just control our whole lives. We're going to streamline the permitting process. All the things I did when I was governor of Florida that got our economy turned around, we're going to do federally. We're going to have the House and the Senate, and we're going to make sure Biden goes along with this, because if he wants to get anything done, he's going to do it with us. We're not going to be doing it with him.
All right. We are in the final stretch here. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this weekend.